That's his sexy face. The first prowler. Still there. It's right there. I shift around, pulling Bemel behind me. The prowler lunges after him, barely missing Bemel, but striking my lantern instead. The fire goes out, and the two of us plunged into an unearthly darkness. Then there's a slick splash. I realize the Nexus retreated into the water. Somehow Bemel and I are still standing. We're still here. Kika, thank you. I can't respond. Something cold, wet and slimy scrambled my ankle. Kick it off. Kick my leg out as fast as I can, and the Nexus soul slips. I can pull with the momentum of against it. Margaret rushes to my side, her lantern hanging out towards the Nyx. The light brushes its face. We see it for an instant, its eyes wide, and then it slides back into the smooth surface of the water. Bemel grabs Margaret and I both, helping us towards the center of the bridge, and cussing under his breath. I only looked away for 1 second. It's fine, Bemel. We're all fine. Are you actually alright? Margaret cocks her head down, examining my ankle, but there's nothing but a red smudge around my trousers. I am fine. I said it, for I don't actually want to let go of Bemel. I need to in order to light our lantern and provide us actual safety, but I feel such a strong desire not to be alone in this moment. I shake my head roughly and let go of him, lighting the lantern as fast as I'm able. Ika, thank you again. You saved my life. I won't let this happen again. Yes, it will be good for all of us to pay more attention. Margaret nods solemnly. Suddenly it seems like we're all on the same side. It isn't only Bemel and I. She is with us in more than simply presence. The guide's voice, as cold as the monster's grasp, ends my train of thought. We lost the lantern I threw. My Nyx grabbed it after the light went out. Margaret makes a noise. I glance over, wondering whether she's upset, but there's a small smile on her face instead. It's better than them taking anything else. Nervous laugh bubbles up out of me, just as quickly stops. Bemel chuckles in response, and our collective tension eases up, the adrenaline draining from our bodies. We need to keep walking. They say they're afraid of light, and we're going through the night. Like, they're afraid of light, so the guide says we're gonna die during daytime. What's there on daytime that could hurt us then? Because if they're afraid of the light, wouldn't it be smarter to go while there's still sun? Would be my ignorant question for not knowing what the fuck's going on here. The guide steps down the bridge again, and we join him. I try to clamp down on the relief, the ease that wants to flood my head. It's not over. Prowler is gone, but so is Bemel's lantern. You can stay near me, Bemel, since your lantern is lost. I appreciate it. Margaret goes on ahead of us. Bemel stays by my side as I keep at the end of line. I mean, maybe they are. Fucking weak vampires then if they're afraid of those little things. Or maybe they're the vampires that don't deal good with water. Could also be. Breath of release from Margaret and Bemel, quickly swallowed by the somber atmosphere of Sinless, well replaced by the gravity of the near-death experience. Never mind celebrating his survival, something like that shouldn't have happened in the first place. The memory of the prowlers reaching out towards us appeared each time I closed my eyes. Why does it look like something's dripping down their faces? The prowlers are on Margaret's mind too. Looking at the pained expression, just for the moment of relief, never existed at all. I'm not sure. Me neither. Something's wrong with them though. They live in water. Air shouldn't be good for the things, but they want to drown humans so much they're willing to drag themselves around on land. It's not right. Of course it isn't. They are monsters. They likely do not understand even the concept of right and wrong. Well, I don't disagree that there's something very wrong about them. I truly hope that's the last we'll see of the prowlers. Something comes to mind, causing Margaret to end that part of the conversation early. Since you two have to share light, wouldn't it be safer to be in the middle? Margaret stops and waits for Mel and I to reach her position. That way you'll catch the edges of my light and the guides, and it won't be so dangerous when Mel loses his position momentarily. That's a very kind offer, Margaret. Mel's surprise is so apparent, I want to cover his face with my hands to stop him from insulting her. She merely smirks. I think Margaret might be surprised with herself too. But Mel returns to his usual surely, thoughtful as it is. At least I'm fine with bringing up the rear. I'm used to keep watching for monsters. There are two of us. I can pay attention to the back while Kika focuses ahead. Not my light though, so she'll be the one to decide what she should do with it. Mark and Vermeer turn to look at me in unison. Seems like it's my decision. Neither of them are wrong. As for me, my goal is to protect everyone. I can very well do that with Margaret falling behind us. But being stuck in the middle of the group could also be dangerous depending on what circumstances we come across. Getting pincered by the enemy would be an almost sure death, no matter how experienced Bemel and I are. Just don't know what to expect from this bridge, and that makes things so much more difficult. I'd like to move up. Margaret's in slightly off to the side to let us pass, careful not to get close to the water's edge. Thank you kindly, Margaret. I nodded her, but Mel and I positioned ourselves a few feet away from the guide. In no time, we've fallen into step in our new positions. So, I don't want to sound like a child, but how much longer until we arrive at the halfway point? Margaret chuckles, reflecting the amusement I don't want to vocalize. We still have some ways to go. Damn. I suppress my laughter, yet again at his pouting response. Gloom have been under dissipate slightly, like light flickering through the fog. The first trial tends to be the most difficult. I believe we will only react better from this point on. I like the way you think. And the gleam enters Bemel's eyes, and he grins. I think Kika deserves a round of applause. A quick reflexes are owed the utmost appreciation. Leans softly into my shoulder, trying to get me to... What? It was indeed a sight. You're quite capable. Mel was also a sight, but for very different reasons. The way he froze with his mouth all agape was a laugh in itself. Mel shakes a fist at Mark in mock anger and shoots me an affectionate look. You should know. She and I are usually on equal footing. Ha! The only reason you had footing at all is because she pulled you back. Mel laughs self-consciously, scratching his head. That's very true. You can always count on Kika. Keep my eyes steadily ahead, unsure I should respond. I'm pleased, almost grateful to hear what they think of me. But I don't know what I could say that wouldn't seem pathetic. Instead, I can contribute the best way I can. Keep my focus on the path ahead of us. Without a response from me, the conversation quickly dies out. Still, it eases my heart to be on such friendly terms with my companions. Strange in the middle, watching over the guide until now. Didn't notice how smooth his movements are. There's a sense of grace to his action, even the basic task of walking down a bridge. I have to actively stop myself from being distracted by it. Suddenly, I notice the guide seems to be getting further away from us. He's speeding up. I do the same to match his pace and end up moving in a light shock. Guide, why are we going faster? He doesn't reply, doesn't even look back at me. Instead his speed almost doubles. Glance back, worried but Margaret is keeping up with us. The guide keeps moving faster and faster until finally, when an all-out sprint. Figures in the dark fly past us at a blur. It occurs to me the branching paths in the bridge appear to be sinking. Swallow my rising panic. The guide shouts something, but it's drowned out by the frantic pounding of our footsteps. I'm trying to piece together what he said. Don't stop, turn, and he takes a massively sharp right down a different path using his own momentum and the sleek wood to slide into any direction with no loss of speed. But suddenly, sudden turn of voice isn't able to keep me close behind him. We're making a right. Mel is on my heels following me to the turn. I glance back once more. Margaret, although further behind than before, also makes the turn. We're all still together. The night was on. Our strength rapidly fades. Even my stamina is being challenged. Can't imagine what this must be like for Margaret. She's holding her side as she runs, clearly cramping from the exercise. How much longer will this last? People have to rest sometime. Almost as if in response to my thought, the guide abruptly halts, his kid to stop as well, gliding on the surface of the wood. Why did we stop? Mel's voice is tired, but his guard is up. The guide doesn't answer, just stares at something slightly out of view. Step up to join him, follow his gaze further down the path. The curled in a little ball, illuminated by the lantern's light, cowers a person. His hands grip his head and he walks from side to side, mumbling incoherently. It's a man. I'm sorry. I just couldn't. Please, I'm sorry. I'm struck with an array of questions. What is going on? Why would he wander out onto these bridges on his own? Did he make it this far by himself? Were there others with him? That's somehow the case. I can't blame him for the state of shock he's in. The man stops mumbling, glances above him, seemingly only just now having the strength to lift his head. His expression, the deepest sadness, along with the clear markings of terror, scrawled across his face, stared him in shock, not sure what to do. Leave him. Snapped my eyes away from the man and stared to the guide's cold, implacable face. No! We can't just leave him here. The man's fine enough already, and those creatures will probably block him away as soon as we're gone. But lights, certain he'll die. He won't make it regardless. The guide turns to look at us, his eyes seemingly to glow from the closeness of his lantern. For the first time, I feel uncomfortable in his presence. Whoever shelters him will only risk dragging themselves down with him. Leave him. Glance at the others, Pamela is outraged, but Marcus is staring at the man with something like fear. She is uneasy, but she doesn't voice her concerns. Try to think of some kind of compromise when the guide speaks again, his voice cutting. If the man comes, then whoever is shielding him will have to remain at a distance from the rest of the group, far enough that you can't see me. Just my light. That is how you will travel across the bridges. Didn't agree to lead this man, and I won't. If you ask me to, I will leave you all behind. Adrenaline surges through my veins and I tense up. Painful reminder that the guide isn't here to save our lives, but merely to show us the way. We're on our own. Margaret, Pamela, and I frankly share more looks between each other, trying to communicate without words. None of us have decided to speak and be the first to make a choice. The man is standing now, was still hunched with his arms wrapped around himself as if expecting a blow. He stares at the ground rather than at us. Because of this, I'm having trouble reading his face. What exactly happened to him? Are you well, stranger? Do you know where you are and why you're here? He glances up, not at me, but towards me, his eyes resting somewhere near my collarbone. I'm fine. You can go all your way, forget you even saw me here. That's absurd. You have no way to defend yourself. We can't leave you. Yes, I'm sure in your eyes I might not seem like much. But that's not exactly a fair shake. Maybe in a perfect world every man would be as large as you, but that's not how things always go. Doesn't mean I'm defenseless. The man's response is meandering, towards himself to be in a good chest, but still barely looking at us, twitching with his hands, but mouth frowns, unimpressed. It was a joke? Smiles as intently, making eye contact with each of us for the first time. What part of it was supposed to be a joke? Do you even realize what is happening in this moment? Never mind, forgot that too. Point is, I'm alright. You were curled up in a ball when we met. Exactly, something must be wrong with you. Oh no, sounds like you've been talking with my father. He lets out a weak little laugh, coupled with an eyebrow raise, voice trembling. No one really knows what to make of this. The man gives a small wave and begins down the path we came. Emil huffs, tossing his hands in the air. That's not even the right way. It could be, if he's trying to get to the side we came from. He must have come quite a ways if he was the other shore that he started on. The man's smile grows. Good. That's not so bad. There's no response to the smile, unsure of what he could be said. Still think he should come with us. The person needs a light, and the guide himself said he won't be able to manage on his own. Sticking with us is his best option. I look over the man's body, noting the scrawniness of his limbs. Scrawny, but necessarily lacking muscle. The bravado he was showing as he tried to leave us has faced yet again. And now he's standing quietly, looking at us as if watching a play. And that's... Alright, I got something to drink. Actually, 2 drinks. Ready? Maybe. Hell yeah. It transmitted, so that's good. Prost. No, from all that singing. I had something to drink when I was singing, but that was only a small thing. Now I have 2 drinks, just that my throat doesn't get too sore because I'm already talking. I think my body's just not used to it because I almost never talk in there. I just got worn out a bit. I needed some water. That's still the second one. He is still a nice saving picture, just that really sexy black face with the white eyes. Let's keep going. I look over the man's body, noting the scrawniness of his limbs. Scrawny, but not necessarily looking as watching a play. No, we already read this. Interest. but no true connection to the events. It's easy for you to say such things, but whose light are you offering? It's not mine, and you're putting her in even more danger with your own presence already. Mel looks at Margaret. She avoids his gaze. Perhaps I could. I've let him share my light before, but the guide has said the one with him has to remain behind. And I simply wouldn't be able to manage it. Mel's hands turn into fists. He looks away but doesn't say anything. For a moment, no one does. Feel a cold sweat on my brow as for the fear comes to pass. He's stopping from us from protecting another. Why must he get involved now? Why can he not leave us to make our own decisions? You. Don't worry about me. I'll be on my way now. Man's voice is full of something I cannot place, and he starts to shuffle back down the way he came. Arms still clenched around himself. Margaret might not be able to take him, but there's another way this could be solved. I could stay back with him. It would put Vimal himself at significantly more risk, but at least this man will stand a chance. Put a hand to stop him? Do nothing. Let's do nothing. I can't risk it. Margaret and Vimal stare at the man as he leaves. We all watch him drag his little frame down the bridge, quickly, fading from sight. We had to let him go. We've only barely been surviving so far. The space the man vanished into his darkened silence. We can see and hear nothing of him, not even his footsteps. Oh. Maybe we should call him back. We at least can give him directions. Tell him what paths we've been taking. Not going to make any difference. We can give direction when the bridges we were on might very well have sunken away. We shouldn't focus on what might become of him. He has his own path to follow, and we ours. We should focus on what we're doing now. Of course it's not really a might, but we have to get through this somehow, and being weighed down with guilt will only distract us. Kite starts moving again at a quick pace. After a moment's hesitation and one last glance into the truly lifeless fog, we run to catch up to him. We walk onwards in silence. Our party hasn't changed. The stranger was never added to it, so it's not as if it makes no sense to miss him. But there's a sense of loss all the same. No one even attempts mirth. The game is like telling you should have probably taken him with you. Vimal constantly looks to want to reach out towards my empty hand, always thinking better of it before doing so. I keep thinking I should have done more, should have pushed the guy harder, changed his mind, so it was less dangerous to keep the man around. Something, anything. But I have to let this go. I'm not going to forget the man. I'll never forget him. But still need to get through this. I curl my hands into fists, hoping it will strengthen my resolve. And I push forward, turn down a different path when the guide stops. Holy shit. Ahead of us stands a group of prowlers. At the sound of us, they turn their heads in unison, as if they knew we were coming. I inhale. Not again. The prowlers wiggle somehow, the skin moving more slowly than it should, sliding across the skeletons. They laugh. We already lost the lantern, and it's still only our first day. We can keep doing this. Yes. We can't lose the lantern at this point. We're almost to the island. The guide rummages through his coat with his free hand. What are you planning? Vimal's tone and borderline frightening, but the guide ignores him. He puts out a small pouch and opens a latch on his lantern. Wait, are you going to throw that at them? What if the bridge... What if the bridge sets on fire? Wait, what if it sets the bridge on fire? Hey, English teacher Sunnywolf, the second sentence is not correct. It will. Oh, it will. We are going to run. This is insane. This bridge is hellish enough without them also being on fire. And what about the other man? If he's still out there, this could... He's dead. We're not losing another lantern. Achievement unlocked. Inevitability. Says it with such detached certainty. It's as if he saw it happen himself. No one argues with him. The guide steps closer to the prowlers. Oh. We fall in to step behind him, then close to his back. He bends his lantern back down until it is lowered to the outstretched arm. The pouch in his hand set aflame. Oh. The practiced flick of the wrist swings the staff back and up. Glass in the lantern closed. Don't get left behind. He takes 3 quick steps and tosses the pouch. I hope you guys are ready for some quick time events, because there's definitely gonna something happen now. The prowlers are back in the water before the pouch even lands. As soon as it does, the fire starts to lick and curl itself around the wood. The guide breaks into a sprint, and so do the rest of us. The blaze grows despite the heavy dampness from the lake. This bridge is under normal bridges. Of course that's true. Nothing here is right. Hopefully they won't collapse with the flames. Stay on the guide's heels, almost too close for comfort. If he stops abruptly, we'll all crash into one another, maybe even fall off the bridge. Then the world tilts. I was mid-stride when I put my foot down. The bridge isn't where it was. It lurches to one side, either because it was weakened or pushed. Mel and I managed to keep our ground, but Margaret falls to the ground. At least I thought that was what happened. At least it's pouring the bridge. My glasses fell off. I can't see. The guide, having regained his balance, presses on. He doesn't even bother to look at her. Mel and I run to Margaret, scanning the bridge, but there's no sign of her glasses. The flames are growing thicker and closer. The heat life sucking close enough to nip at their heels. I grab Margaret's arm. The glasses aren't here anymore. We have to go or we'll lose the guide. Margaret squints up at me, face paler than ever. She nods and stands, and we start after the guide again. As our storm of feet thunder across the boards, a silver sliver begins to rise in the view just above the edge of the water. That thing. It's the island. The island? I squint and suddenly make out the craggy forms of land on Earth. I see it, we're almost there. Safety at long last in sight. New energy surges through me. We push ourselves faster, longing to put these godforsaken bridges behind our backs. All at once, the bridge ends, and our entire crew brushes ashore. Earth, solid Earth, a haven from the water. Catch my breath while still moving in further away from the dark shoreline. Can't believe we actually made it. Even more difficult is the idea that we're only halfway done. Night falls one more, we have to do it all again. A heavy arm falls across my shoulders, and I straighten to see Bemal smiling really at me. Good work out there. Not the usual commendation of a job well done. Sadness, perhaps even sympathy, this sentence. It ends flatly. With a sigh, he leans his head to the side, having it rest slightly against mine. Usually Bemal's comfort and good nature gives me at least the urge to smile, but right now, it's like a hollow victory. He moves to face Margaret, who's squinting around the surrounding area. Good work out there. His statement is more energetic. He's not willing enough to show a lack of confidence in front of her. Margaret smiles slightly. How are you doing without your glasses? Oh, I'll manage. I have to after all. I'm not completely blind, thankfully, so I can muddle my way through. There isn't anything much to see out on those bridges. As long as you stay away from the edge, you should be as safe as you were before. That's true, but it'll be fine. And then the guide is there. He moves so smoothly that he steps on the soft sand, nearly silent, and his dusky clothes blend with the thinning of the night. The sun will rise soon. The fire on the bridge is the only reason this island isn't run with prowlers right now. However, they could still pose a threat. Is that why you decided to set the bridge on fire? To make the island safer? The guide looks at Margaret, who I suddenly realize might be only the second or third time all night. Setting the bridges alight isn't an uncommon strategy. Yep, she probably will die, yeah. It has many uses. He walks away, Margaret frowning at his retreating form. Come. The guide takes us to an area a bit further inland, but not too far from the water. Trees partially obscure location, and there's enough room to watch the coast in case prowlers start to emerge from the water. Essentially, it's a place where an ambush would be hard. If any of you see anything and all, speak up. We don't want them to sneak up on us. Almost automatically, each member of the group turns to a different direction. For a brief second, I feel a flicker of pride. This night may have been awash with misery, but we're still here for each other. As the sky continues to fade from pale purple to muted blue, the water stays silent. The first time, nothing happened. It's as a miracle. Suddenly my chest is lighter, and the air is fresher. The first sprigs of light appear over the horizon, stinging my eyes with such a long journey through the darkness. Sound catches my attention and moves my focus towards its direction. The guide is opening the latch on his lantern again, and gently, almost respectfully, blows out the light. We no longer have to worry about the Nixie. It is over. For today. I'm almost unable to keep tears of relief from pouring out at those words. We made it through the night. We survived. No one feels the need to speak. We look at each other, an understanding passing between us. Then we find our own space, as comfortable as we can get, and lay down for the rest we weren't sure would ever come. My eyes slowly blink open and readjust to the brightness what little there is. The sun is obscured by a thick layer of fog, making it impossible to estimate the time of day. I prop up my elbows and push myself up. The ground is hard and rocky, but that isn't the only reason I'm eager to get on my feet. I check my surroundings. The harsh, craggy earth of the island, interlaced with twisting vines and gnarled branches. Beside me, Belle Mel and Margaret, still fast asleep. Guide, however, is nowhere to be seen. I realize that I don't recall seeing him lay down with everyone. It's like he left us hours ago. There's a creeping silence here. I can't help but shudder at the hollow, aching feeling inside of me, but it refuses to relent. I shift my way back and forth, unsure what to do with myself. Memories of last night's harrowing journey flicker through my mind. Mel wakes suddenly, rising with alarm and startling Margaret awake as well. Her mouth opens, then shuts. And after a moment of fumbling, a word finally escapes. Hello. Mel gives me a gentle smile and makes his way over to me. Margaret follows suit. Morning. Is it even morning anymore? Margaret tries to speak lightheartedly, however, it doesn't do much to improve the mood. pocket of quiet descends over us. We should eat something soon. Margaret, do you have enough supplies? Yes. I think it'll be alright with what I have. That's a relief. The two of us have plenty of rations though, so if you need anything, you can always ask. Margaret sighs and presses her fingers to her temples, acting as if she's fed up with us. You know, two of you need to stop looking out for everyone else so much. Vimal winces at the statement without vocalizing what's on his mind. Margaret and I share a glance. This is about the person we left behind yesterday, the person we didn't help. I'm sorry, didn't intend. Not your fault. It goes quiet between us once more. A distinct rustling of the leaves around catches my attention. The guide appears, emerging from the thicket. Margaret appears to be a little uncomfortable at his return, but Mel glares at him as he makes his way over. The Nixie will not fight on land in daylight. However, being near the shoreline is still dangerous. If you leave the center of the island, remain cautious. Before the sun sets, we will be in this area. It would be nice to meet me here before nightfall. Why did we have to leave him behind? Sharp will turn towards Vimal as he snarls and confronts the guide. If we had just let him follow us, he would be alive. The guide looks away, seemingly unaffected. If all you're going to do is leave everyone to be lost, then why bother guiding us at all? Despite Vimal's severe words, the guide apparently considers his piece here finished. Turns towards the forest area from which he came. Wait! Vimal calls out to the guy reaching towards him. Before he can make eye contact, I quickly place a hand on his shoulder. He lowers his arm to his side, for I can still feel wrath emanating from him. We stay this way until the guide disappears from view. Vimal begins to kick at the ground, spraying tiny pieces, gravel about. Vimal, I know you're angry, but regardless of our feelings, we need the guide. If he leaves us, we'll all die. We've done so well with him. Give him a cold glance. We don't even know which bridge to take without the guide. Vimal knows that this needs to stop. There are people counting on us to make it back. What of Margaret? We can't afford to lose our way. The anger adds in his expression fades into sadness. You're right, Kika. You're right. He weakly sweats his hand in front of his face, as if he's trying to shoo away his racing thoughts. I can't stay here right now. I'm not allowing him to leave alone. Beside me, Margaret releases a sigh. Are you alright? No, I'm not. Nothing is alright, and it will never get any better. Margaret sucks in a breath as she starts to get emotional. What can spill out of her, she turns on her heels and walks off in a direction different than the guide's. Quietly I speak. I need to be alone. I have to see Vimal. I'm going to speak with the guide. I balled my hands into fists, steeled my will, started advancing in the direction the guide went. Pushed my way through the branches and reached the other shore of the island. I looked for the guide, but he's nowhere in sight. How? Where could he have gone? Searched the area further without any success. The island is not in any way large. If I've not found him, it can only be because he does not wish to be found. Besides, all motivation leaves me. I frankly simply need to be alone. Even unlocked, alone. It seems as though my wish to be alone will be granted. There's no sign that they will be returning. Cold chills somehow whips its way down my back, despite the calm of the air. I keep my gaze in the dark ground, taking a breath so deep it stings the back of my throat. To steadily empty my lungs, I try to empty my mind of all thoughts. I do not know what I'm doing anymore. Nothing is straightforward, and something familiar and powerful in my thoughts and latch on. A mission. I have to try and focus on the mission. I need to be strong. My eyes start back up. Someone watching? I wonder if I'm afraid of being seen struggling like this, or if I hope I may not be on my own here. It doesn't matter. There's still nothing but a silent island. Time seems so indefinite around me, passing slowly. On this island, it almost seems to move slow as a stagnant pond. I take my hand, pouring the thought. It's irrational, but I cannot bear to think of even old pond water. Oh. Gradually, my consciousness begins to include the world again, through a few standard warm-up stretches. Testing my mind and body. I don't know how long it's been, but I feel I have regained enough of my wits to continue on. I need to make sure everything is alright. Right through the wooded part of the island. There isn't anything that could be called a path, but I managed to pick my way through the bush quite well. Through a thinner stand of trees, I briefly catch sight of the guide standing on one of the beaches. Seems fine, but even though I'm sure he turned his head toward me, he makes no show of acknowledging me. I continue my check without heeding that. After moving on, I find Bemil in the jagged clearing, leaning against a tree. He already noticed me and is looking my way, smiling as I get closer, and pick up on the sadness behind his jovial expression. How are you faring? Any problems? Everything is fine. I came to check on you. How kind I've come down since then. What? What is it? What Jesus, Sonny? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm drinking beer right now. That's only my first one. I just fully opened the window because it's a little bit cooler outside now, so I can get some fresh air and cool down the room a bit. Oh, that is good. Oh, that is so good. Fresh air. The air in this room is just standing. And that was fun, though. Alright. Anyway. I'm glad to hear that. Is there any way I can help or anything you'd like to say? He raises an eyebrow at that, screen becoming markedly playful. Let it rain, let it rain. Oh Lord, let it rain. Wait, now the song goes, make it rain. It rain, let it rain. Da 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 da. The answer is your own regret. Oh, there we go. I didn't expect you to see you so worried about me, Kika. I have to force myself not to avert my eyes at the comment, embarrassment flowing into me. You might notice my reaction. He does not draw attention to it, however. Instead, he throws his arms out wide with a sour expression. Have you seen the guide? Amar is clearly asking out of a sense of obligation and makes no secret that he's not pleased to be discussing the guide. I nod in response. It is. I'm actually happy it's raining. It's been so hot the last days, and the rain and the cold winds finally entering my room. That's good. That's really good. Very good. I saw him earlier. He's the same as always. Good. Good. In that case, I'm going to stretch my legs for a bit. Feel stiff from standing in one place for so long. I bid him a brief goodbye. Female waves as he departs. When I step into another clearing, I notice Margaret sitting quietly at the base of a tree. Margaret begrudgingly lifts her head as I approach, enabling me to see that her face is damp and tear-stained. While her eyes are red and puffy, she's been crying, shifting comfortably on my feet. Besides that being really sad right now, I really would like to just take my umbrella and just go outside to like cool down. And there's another thunder. Another lightning. Has something happened? Everything is fine. I came to check on you. Well, that's nice. She speaks somewhat curtly. At least she no longer seems as depressed. I'm happy to report that everything's in order on this front. I'm glad. Of course I cannot fully believe that. Margaret isn't saying what's actually on her mind, but I have no way to truly reach her. Is that everything? I suppose it is. Do you support the idea to just go outside right now, like put some clothes on and walk around in the rain? And the thunder. If you say yes, I'm gonna go put on some clothes and just go outside and cool down for a while. I suppose it is. Alright. I hope you enjoyed the stream then, because then I'm gonna end the stream. I wish you good luck with work. And I will be gone for a while, but when I come back and you're done with work, we can do something together, you know?